Hey everybody, Marcus here, and today I want to talk about how to get started on a vegan diet. Now we all know the basic components of being vegan, right? We know we can't have meat, we can't have dairy, and we can't have eggs. Now for myself, I'm actually vegan plant-based, so this video will be based more off of a vegan plant-based diet. And if you want to know why, I have a video linked up in the card that explains why I found value in a vegan plant-based diet. So let's get started. So as you all know, you can't have meat, you can't have dairy, and you can't have eggs. Now when I started out, eggs was not a problem for me because I never enjoyed eggs through my whole life. Now meat, on the other hand, was, a consistent part of our everyday diet. Just up to a year ago, just before I started my vegan plant-based journey, I was eating red meat probably every other day. And then before then, when I was bodybuilding, I was eating chicken and broccoli. So both chicken, both red meat, I was getting tired of it. So I grew up in a hunting and fishing family. So I understand for those people out there who say, there's no way I can give up meat. But you wouldn't be watching this video if that's not something you are contemplating. So giving up meat wasn't very hard for me, right? Now, it took me about probably a week to, once I committed and realized what I could and could not eat, it took me about a week to transition from eating meat. So to transition the meat out of my diet, I actually used a lot of meatless products. And I think this was more because I was subconsciously thought that I still needed meat, right? And this is something, if you all grew up this way, you subconsciously think that you still are going to need meat. But after a while, experimenting with the meatless stuff, and meatless stuff can get very pricey at times, but I actually found that I didn't need it and I didn't want it anymore. And this was because I was actually finding out that the more that I was staying closer to nature, the better I was feeling. Now, what about dairy? So for me, dairy, it was hard to transition out of my diet. I tried to do it overnight, but it was something that I found you can't, because you don't really understand like how much milk is in different products, right? And that's why there's a joke with, in the vegan community about reading ingredients, because a lot of products, they'll say they're vegan and then you actually read the ingredients and it says contain milk. But with that said, right, so we have no meat, no dairy, and no eggs. This is the foundation, what we're gonna start off with. Now this journey on a vegan diet, it will not be easy. There will be some cooking involved, and it is not the easiest lifestyle to adjust to. But if you know that from the beginning and know your reasons why you're gonna be on this lifestyle, this diet is well worth it. Now I know you may have a lot of concerns, and that's what we're here for, and that's what I'm trying to make the video for, to help you guys out with any possible questions you might have. So now that we know the foundation of how we're gonna start off, the big thing is you need to know, once you're committed, that it's gonna take time, right? Some people can do it in a couple days, some people a couple months, and other people might even take a couple years to fully transition into a vegan diet. Now this is nothing to be worried about, just as long as you're making some kind of effort to keep going, that's all that matters, consistency. So one of the first things you need to know is that when you're going through this transition, your body's gonna take a while to adjust. The first couple days are gonna be a little rough, just because your body has to clean out the old garbage. So where do we go from here? So from here, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna tell you that the vegan diet is not something that's completely easy, right? It takes effort. You're gonna have to cook. And I know for some of you out there, that's probably something you don't wanna do. And I can completely understand that. I was never a big cook, but I made the adjustment. So cooking right is one of the big things you're gonna have to get used to when going vegan. I know a lot of people don't wanna hear that, and I'm sorry, but that's part that comes with the territory. And I know this throws a lot of people off, and they figure, well, I can't cook, so I just can't do it. And that's not completely true. Cooking does help, right? You can be vegan without cooking, but it's a lot harder, and you're not gonna be as healthy as you want to be, right? Right now, we're trying to optimize your health. So for me starting out, I didn't know what exactly I was going to eat, right? Like I knew the basics, but I still didn't kind of really know. So what I ended up actually doing was buying a bunch of frozen vegetables and buying a bunch of canned goods. Now you may think, well, this kind of defeats the purpose, but it doesn't actually. Frozen vegetables are probably actually healthier for you than anything from the produce section. Now, why, you may ask, is because a lot of fruits and vegetables, they get sprayed down for shipping processes, and then they get shipped, and then they get sprayed again so that they can actually ripen, right? Where, on the other hand, you have other vegetables and fruits that are actually harvested and frozen right then and there. So with that being said, having that stuff around can help a lot. Like I said, I had the frozen vegetables, and you pop those in the microwave, it takes 5 minutes, and then you have some fresh vegetables. And the good thing is, like, if you are cooking, right, there's a lot of quick meals. I would advise you to go out and look way ahead of time for some good meals that you might actually enjoy on a vegan diet, and make sure you have those accessible at all times. So you have everything you got, right? You got your meal prep, you're ready to go. Where do you go from here? Now, another big question a lot of people have is, well, can I not go out with my friends anymore? And that is not entirely true. You can still go out with your friends. It's just a lot harder, right? When you're on a vegan, depending where you live, if you live near a city, you got obviously a lot more options. Or if you live in a more rural area, then you won't have as many options. But typically, a restaurant will always have some kind of salad or vegan option. The key is just to remember that you want to know what exactly are the ingredients when ordering something. Now, I'm not saying ask for every ingredient, but you want to definitely go for the obvious, like, is there any dairy, is there any butter or milk that's mixed in with whatever they're serving, right? And this will ensure that you're not, breaking your vegan diet, and that you're trying to be more mindful about what you're ordering. So I have a couple books that I like to share with you guys that I think would actually help you guys along your journey. So for those people out there who think that going on a vegan diet is going to make you protein deficient, I have a resource for you. This book is called Proteinaholic by Dr. Garth Davis. This book is phenomenal and has tons of detail about protein, and will cause you to actually rethink the whole word protein. Now, my next resource would be the China Study. Now, the China Study is an absolutely phenomenal book. It's by Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and this book is the most in-depth nutritional research ever done. And if you just want to know in general why a vegan diet, plant-based diet would help you just in health and everyday life, this book is for you. Now, this last resource is more of an inspirational book. I absolutely love this book. It's called Eat and Run by Scott Jurek. And if you don't know who Scott Jurek is, he's an ultra-marathon runner, and he discovered veganism when he was just trying to get a performance edge against his opponent. And back when veganism wasn't big, he actually introduced this diet and found out that he actually increased his performance so much so that he was blowing the competition out of the water. There was a lot of information, so what I want to try to do is create a couple more videos for you guys, and hope that helps those people newly transitioning and any kind of questions you may have. If you do have any questions, please leave a comment down below and let me know, and I would be more than happy to help. Just realize that there's other communities out there that are more than willing to help. They've helped me along the way, and it's going to be a journey. It could be long, but you just have to commit. Once you commit, you'll realize that this lifestyle is way better than you can imagine. Yeah, it does take some sacrifice, but once you realize that sacrifice isn't actually all that bad, like getting rid of meat, I know a lot of people assume that getting rid of meat is absurd and they don't understand it, and I was the same way, but it works. I've been on it for a year now, and it's done phenomenal. So with that being said, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one.